City of Washington Parks and Recreation Commission. First thing is roll call. Chad, can you handle that one?
Yep. John Freitag,
Yes.
Bob Kleppel,
Yes.
Kevin Creedy, Tessie Stephens,
Yes.
Sparky Streckensnicker,
Here.
Jenny Miller Wood,
Here.
Dave Waymeyer,
Here.
Betty Warner, Gavin Woolley,
Here.
Jeff Packey,
Here.
and Pepper.
Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
The United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God,
Indivisible,
with liberty
and justice for all.
Approval of the minutes from our May 14th meeting.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Gavin, second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Director's report. Chad?
Yeah, I don't really have a lot to report today, but we can talk, the bathroom at the riverfront is going really well. Should be putting the roof on it here yet this week, it sounds like, guess the weather permitting. We picked shingles out this morning. Things are going really well with that. We're full stream ahead for American Bloom coming up. I think we're in good shape with everything. Judges will be here on the 16th and 17th, which is Monday and Tuesday. The ribbon cutting for the stage went really well. I think we had a lot of people show up for that. I think we had a lot of good comments and everything on that. The contractor is still working on the checklist. We've still got a couple things yet that they need to fix. But they're moving along with that. Master plan is on track. It sounds like June 30th, they're gonna have that back to us. So hopefully in the first meeting in July or second meeting in July, we'll be able to get that into the minutes, get that accepted. I mean, that's pretty much all we got going on right now. I mean, besides our normal daily stuff, pool attendance this week is doing really good. We do have a pump that is out. We have a leak. They're supposed to be getting that part. It's ordered. Hopefully we'll be getting that in yet this week and get that fixed. That's on the splash pad, so it's closed at this point.
Any questions, Chad?
Yes. What's the purpose of the paving and widening the lanes and the parking?
That's part of the fair for the West Gate. They're moving that West Gate way out there to the end to keep that. Most of that paving, if you look, that's where the cars were driving off anyway, so that just, it'll make it a little bit nicer to make it around there, but it's done for the fair so that when they can, they're moving that West Gate, and actually some of the kiddie rides and stuff are gonna change a little bit. They're changing some of the fencing and stuff. They're gonna put that Connex box right where that one asphalt, where people can walk up the hill, they can pay their ticket, and they continue walking to the other gate to get in, where you always get in before, but that'll make a lot more room for the metal detectors and kind of hopefully reduce some of the congestion around that gate.
I just noticed it today and thought I'd ask. Thank you.
Well, you just did it today. They just finished it a little bit ago, so.
Any other questions for Chad? Okay, communications from the audience. You're part of the audience now. Have anything?
We are in the middle of interviewing applicants, including Chad, of course, for our Parks Director position. We've got 3 done, 6 to go, lots of applicants from all over the country. So, we're gonna let that process play out and make a decision. Hopefully the decision will be made by the end of July, so that they can get a very quick baptism with the fire fair. Going on.
Chad knows all about the fair.
Yes. That's about all you guys. This Friday is the first meeting of the capital improvement
Has the park master plan been approved yet? Is it still waiting council approval?
No,
Still waiting.
Gilbert's, it's getting finished up by the end of this month, so we'll have to take it to the next meeting in July to get it approved.
Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. Old business, the connection down to Riverfront?
Joe from Cochrane has sent in all the documentation to the state for review. We had some questions today back, and Joe's responded back, so hopefully they'll continue that process fairly quickly, and we will be going out to bid, and hopefully be able to start that second phase in October 1 when the new budget starts. Sometimes it takes a long time to go through that whole process, so we try to get that early so we can hit them dates. We can hopefully get some of the work done before it gets cold.
Okay. And new business? You want to start with Bob?
yeah, so-
Derek,
Bob Zurich has resigned. The mayor is working on reappointments, so that'll be happening here soon. The October, or do everybody want to still have a ribbon cutting for Optimus Playground? We don't have a date set, but is that something everybody's interested in doing?
Yeah, I
I would
think-
think that we would want to, I'd
Yeah.
rather not leave the Optimus out, since
Yeah.
we've done everybody else.
We'll reach out to the Optimists and see when they can get, maybe we can do it with a park board meeting like we did in some of them. We can just have it at the park and go from there,
Sure.
That's a good idea.
if that works.
Great
That's
idea.
a very good idea, yeah.
Yep.
That'd be great.
Like I said, the advisors are coming for AIB, are coming June 16th and 17th. We think it'll be a great day, you know. We're really prepared. I think it'll turn out real good.
How many people are coming?
There's two advisors that show up,
Two?
yeah, so we'll have them
New
both
ones, I
days. We have
understand. Is that new ones?
8 people that'll follow around with them all day, and then we got certain people at different intervals that'll be for them to talk with. So,
Okay.
several
They've never
speakers.
been here.
One has, and one is brand new to the.
Oh, that's good.
She's never, this is her first year judging.
Oh, that'd be good.
She has lots of interesting questions, so just a little bit. We did a Zoom meeting with them. Seems like it'll be a really interesting.
Is she the horticulturist? Are they both?
They're
She's-
bo-
she's an author,
She is,
isn't
but she was a editor
She's the
for a
writer.
while, and she's got lots of different.
Yeah, she's the
Background.
one that they said, I think, in the paper she writes for like Midwest Magazine, and
Yeah.
she's
Oh, yeah,
done
yeah.
several, lot of magazines. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, good.
Chad, what's the process those 2 days? Do we control where they go, or do they control where they go?
We control where they go, basically. We have an itinerary. We work with the WIB, the Washington Bloom. We sit down and try to do to make sure they see all the spots that we want them to see, meet the people that we want them to meet to help, trade the best of Washington. It's pretty much the same itinerary we used last year. We changed it up a little bit here and there because it is different judges or advisors, sorry. But it's usually it's a pretty busy 2 days to see everything. The first day, we do a driving tour through Washington. We got certain areas, and then last year we did a walking through tour from downtown. This year we're going to use golf carts. And we're gonna drive through because walking up and down the hills, it eats up a lot of time, and we might be able to get a couple more places in. And then we give them breaks in the afternoon. They need 2 or 3 hours each day to fill out their documentation and do all that stuff. And then we have a dinner at night where we can answer any of the questions they have and go from there.
Okay, thank you.
And then, the community cleanup day. that's a
Yeah,
Saturday.
Community cleanup day, hopefully it doesn't rain, because most of the stuff we have on that project list is painting and spraying weeds. So I got a meeting tomorrow with Tyler. We're gonna sit down and make sure that we have a plan B if that goes through. Generally, we did a lot of mulching this time, but with American Bloom coming when it is, we couldn't get all the cleanup done. It usually takes us a day after the cleanup day to clean up the cleanup day, to clean up all the areas we have the mulch dumped and stuff like that, so.
Do you have a time on that?
I think it's 8:30, I think.
8:30?
I think it's 8:30 at the post office.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they go to the old
Yeah,
downtown post
Yeah, the
office.
old post office, yeah.
Downtown Washington.
Yeah, exactly. Jeff, you have an update for the,
Yeah, so just before I start on the Legion tournament, I talked to Gavin last night at the baseball game, and Gavin, would you please tell us what you did this week, including yesterday and today, and where you mulched?
Oh.
I saw you.
I just helped out a little bit.
So the Urban Forestry Council, correct?
Correct.
You had a work meeting.
Yeah.
Go ahead, tell us what you did.
The Urban Forestry Council met last night. We had a work day at, our work evening at,
Optimus.
Optimist. And we mulched all the young trees down there, Josh, myself, and John Steffens. Then this morning we had Weed Wednesday. The concentrated area today was the Riverfront Park with the AIB coming to town, trimming, pruning, and weeding. And then here I am this evening.
Right, and I want to say that, because you told me that last night, and I just wanted to go without, it's not on deaf ears, and it's very appreciated. I told you thank you, but I think everybody tells you thank you.
Well, yeah,
What they do in terms of what Chad just said, cleanup, I said, so what about the cleanup day? Well, the cleanup day is gonna be other things in lieu of that. So, again, a personal thank you to you, and I think the town thanks, Josh, John, you guys who do that. That may goes without being seen sometimes, and that's very much appreciated, so,
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for the thank you.
yeah.
I saw you this morning
They
down
did
there.
like
and I was-
30 trees last night, because I got home and I'm waiting for John, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. And then
Is
he
that
said,
why he wasn't present this morning?
Well, sort of. He was doing, so he had his garden out here that,
Okay.
I don't know, plants are dying because of too much rain, and he's panicked. It's gotta look perfect by Monday,
Yeah,
you
again, thanks
know.
to John, Gavin, Josh, I mean.
I will do that. It's a labor of love.
The urban forestry, they have work meetings. That's what they do. They,
I like that.
yeah,
Every other month.
But
Yeah.
still, even if you only did it once, it's
they
like
go
amazing.
all around and do all sorts of stuff.
a lot of times they trim the young trees. That's a
Yeah.
big thing, trying to keep up with the young trees, trimming them.
Yeah, we've planted trees at the entry to Millard Post. We've planted them in Teeman Valley.
Where'd you get the trees?
from the
Forest
nursery.
relief.
I'm sorry?
The forest relief is the trees come from forest relief. And we've done Greenway Trail.
To the Greenway.
Oh, yeah, the Greenway Trail, that's starting to look good.
It is.
We were, kicking back a little bit after we finished last night and looking the trees. Those are some of the early trees that were planted at Optimist, and they're doing well. They're starting to make a difference.
Yeah, it is starting to make a difference.
Chris and I marvel at the East Trail over by that parking lot, they were little trees, and now how big they've grown. It's fantastic.
Give them a chance, they'll go.
That's-
And speaking of thanks, I was at the mixer after the roof dedication, and Jane Reed, the former school superintendent, lives in one of the condos down on Front Street and made mention about how diligent and hardworking our Parks Department is. She sees it out her front door and out her front window. So, there's, thanks go all the way around to everybody.
Yeah. All right, so to the Legion tournament, Chad asked me kind of just give an update report. Not a whole lot I can share at this time, other than business as usual, I guess you could say. Still looking for some additional sponsorships, both banner sponsorships and larger. We had Trent Hendrickson is doing a lot of work behind the scenes as far as that goes. I've been privy to a few of those meetings, and I don't know how he works, because he's doing that all the time. But new this year, one of our coaches, Joe Bueller, Joe played baseball at SLU. They live in Eureka. Their kids go to Borgia. So they're working their way out here. He helps coach the Junior Legion team. He's got some acquaintances and has some great ideas. So we've kind of taken some of those. I will tell you that we are looking at a little more of a celebrity approach. So we're looking to try to enhance both the opening ceremony and daily games as far as that goes with, maybe some popular celebrities, I guess you could say. But we also don't want to take away from the veteran appeal to each and every game. And that goes, like I said, for the opening ceremony and for each game. So I guess I asked you to keep it on your calendar that Wednesday night for opening ceremony for sure. I think one of the coolest things for me in the last few weeks, just through meetings, the Fair Board reminds me that, hey, we want to approve those tickets again, and then they go to their meeting. So the Fair Board is going to approve Wednesday night tickets for all those baseball player guests, as they did last year, and then all those out-of-town, out-of-state kids are going to the fair on Wednesday, and I can't tell you how many of them, I want to go back on Thursday, I want to go back on Friday, and then the parents go back. So it's a win-win, there's no doubt, but it's so good to hear the Fair Board say all the good things about it. You know, the coordinating and the working together and all that kind of stuff, sharing the parking lot, all that, and they were happy with it all. And they, so as we were afraid a year ago how it was going to work, how it did and how the planning's going is one of the biggest bright sides that I see, is that there's no animosity there. They're looking forward to it. I spoke with the transportation guy last night. They're planning the same thing. And I know he's working with the Fair Board. We had the hiccup last year with the buses that we use for transportation were in the bus line at the north gate, and it caused some congestion. So we're gonna work a different gate for their bus system. So those kind of things are happening now as far as transportation goes. Obviously, we don't know which teams are coming yet. The states are gonna be the same as last year, but if it's the same or who wins their state championship, we won't know that until like the week before.
Washington qualifies automatically.
Correct. The post 218 team will be the host team. There will be a Missouri state champion and then 6 other states that'll have a state champion there, same as last year. And then the winner, when they win here on Saturday or Sunday, they go to Shelby, North Carolina to play in the World Series. So a lot of work's been done at the park. I know Chad, or you can say Wayne, whatever, sent a bucket truck there. We replaced the batting cages. So that was a good, bought the netting, and then we had a bucket truck there. I borrowed a bucket truck. Former commission member Danny Cassette, I called him up and said, I need your bucket truck. So thanks to Danny for that. But, again, one of those joint ventures, between the Legion and the city and the parks. Put the new batting cages up, and then there's a new sign in front of the batting cages, too, a black sign that resembles, like all our others in the parks, for Ronzik Field as you come in that west, the west gate there. Our biggest hiccup right now, and I hate to report this, but Marvin and Cheryl Holtmeyer, they've been huge, and I've wanted to do something for them, and they refuse to have any kind of, I want them to come to a meeting and have you thank them, because they go every single day and pick up trash and wipe down the bleachers at Ronzik. We have an issue there, folks. We have birds in the rafters, and the birds leave white droppings on the seats every day. Marvin and Cheryl are not in the best of health, and they have not been able to do that this year. And now you see what they've done for the last 10 plus years when it's not done. So now people have to go with towels and rags before every game and wipe the bleachers off. So we've discussed, Chad knows this, we've discussed in the past about, enclosing the underside of that to enclose the rafters, that kind of thing. We've got owls hanging up and fireworks hanging up, whatever you want to call it.
We sprayed some bird repellent up there yesterday.
Okay.
Not for sure how good it works, but we are trying different things to do it, and we've assisted with hosing the bleachers off and stuff too.
Right.
here and there, but.
So it's just, you know, it's not something that we can send the parks guys there every morning at 8 o'clock and we did a good job. It happens throughout the day, you know, so then when people, last night I was there, Washington played Union, and it was a pretty big crowd.
Heck of a
The-
crowd.
The stands were full and extras, so,
How many years has this couple done this?
the
Oh, Marvin,
the
Cheryl.
Holmeyers,
Yeah.
Boy, they've been doing that a long
a
time.
long time. They walk through town and pick up trash.
Right.
I was
I
gonna
see-
say,
I
that,
see
what they
that.
do, what they do at Runsick is just a drop in the bucket.
Correct.
Right.
That's true,
They,
you're
they
right.
are wonderful
Right.
stewards
So-
of
so
Washington,
they're
Missouri.
Proclamation or something, or
Well,
can we
and
like?
that's what I try to do, Jeannie. I try to have them come and do that. They don't want the recognition. They
That's
don't
right,
even
they don't
that.
want,
I think they
the way they
started,
are.
I want
I
to say at
know,
least
they're-
10 years ago. Because Eric Volkerding is our AA coach. He coached my son for years. That's his mother and father-in-law. It's Susan's mom and dad. So as they would come to games, watch him coach, that's kind of how they got in it, and then they would be there through the day. Just have cleaned up and done a great job for a long,
Maybe
long
we
time.
can think of
So,
some,
Yeah,
we need to think of some way to recognize.
don't worry, I've thought of it, but they don't, they don't
Well,
want it,
yeah,
but they
maybe,
don't
just
like it.
but somehow to do it, if they're not gonna be here, but maybe even a little article in the paper, or a little, just thank you, or we just put a little ad, or, I mean, I'm just saying, something that would say we,
Can
on
you name a
behalf of the
bleacher
city
after
and the park board and baseball, you know, we
Yeah,
wanna,
can
Right.
Can we do a park bench or a tree or?
well, you could do that too, but I think we should, while they're
I don't know.
Well, I'll leave it.
here.
Or rather, yeah, but in
I'll leave it
honor,
to you to
not
do
in
some thinking about it,
honor.
because it is a very well-deserved, people who, you know, just like I said with Gavin and the mulching, you know, there's a lot of things that happen.
That you
I know a
never
lot of people just,
Yeah.
that's what we do, and I know it's a lot of volunteerism, but they take pride in it. It's just unfortunate because of their health, they're not able to do it as much as they did or at all right now. But, as the mayor said, the capital improvement sales tax meeting on Friday. I've got a list, just kind of what the Legion, you know, in the next 8 years would love to see and enhancements out there. I think the biggest thing that I can say is that it's not, we want this, it's, we want to work together with the city to try to make improvements. So, you know, I take off my city council hat, put on my Legion committee hat, but, you know, and the bleachers is one of those things, and, you know, the possibility of expanding the bleachers, I think is really what's needed. The area that's flat there where the picnic tables are, at least be covered or have part of it, you know, those kind of things. There's some ideas and some drawings there. And then we're still on track with the concession stand addition. Not been out there, but, we weren't able to do that this spring before season, so that's one of those things after. And that's basically a result of a lot of hard work for the regional and sponsorships and all that kind of stuff above and beyond what we've had to do. So, a lot of improvements out there. I know Washington beat Union last night, and the Union coaches just can't, like, this is just amazing. You know, they get done losing to you, and then they come back and they want to sit there and talk because we don't have this in Union. We don't have this. You know, it's just neat to be here and neat to do this. So again, it's just a pretty cool evening. Like I said, last night's season's in full swing. But as far as the regional goes, we'll keep ramping up to that, more sponsorships. And then I don't want to forget mentioning, like Bob just told me before the meeting, you know, we need an electric box in the visitors dugout for a fan. So Bob's out there running electric. And then KLPW wants to be in a different spot, so now they're on top of the bleachers. So Bob and Tom have run electric for up there. So those things are done too, Bob, and I know you do the same thing. You said, that's just me, we just do that, and we do, but it's a huge, we say it all the time, it's volunteerism in our community, but sometimes those people need to be noticed and know what you do and thanked.
that old mesh that we took down from the batting, or from the front there,
Yes.
could that be put up underneath there to keep birds out?
Well, we talked
talked
about
about
something
that.
like that, but if
We
you get a
talked
hole in it
about
and a
that. I
bird
don't
gets
know if
in
it
it, then
works.
it's actually worse.
I don't think it really keeps the birds out very much, because
Does
most
it?
of them are pretty small birds,
They'll climb in
the
there.
sparrows.
Yeah.
Either sheeting it off, like I said, hopefully maybe this bird repellent will help. I don't know, it's, just something to try. I know we've tried different sound things and, you know, like I said, the owls and all kinds of things we've tried, but, they're pretty,
Persistent.
persistent, yeah, exactly, that's
I
it.
mean, personally, I think the end goal is to, like I said, sheet the
regular.
underside. You know, we like to see, you know, we have those two fans up there, which are great. If we can improve those, make them a little bit bigger, you know, to move a little bit more air, because when it's hot underneath of there, and then, add on to it in addition to that, so that's one of those things where, you're talking money, but it's not a lot compared in the capital improvement sales tax when you want to make improvements out there. And again, not just for the regional, but for everyday games, so. I'll have more in the next month, but like I said, we're working on celebrities and we're gonna make a
What Tommy wants.
opening
to do.
ceremony will be fun. Last year, it kind of fell in place when I had a helicopter come deliver the flag. It worked. It was great. It was fun. It'll be better this year, I promise you, so.
So the dates are August 5th through
The same as the fair, August 6th through the 10th.
6th.
Yes. The teams will be in town on Tuesday, the night before, on the 5th. And that's a good thing too, Spark. The Legion is actually gonna host this year's dinner. So last year we had it at the hotel conference center, which worked and was great, but I think having it at the Legion will be another bonus. We're working on a guest speaker for that. What's that?
Nothing, I didn't say nothing.
Yes. But no, I think having it there. And then one other thing we changed, and I think I've talked to Chad and a few others too, but last year we had rented a large Parrot trailer for the parking lot for umpires, et cetera. We're going to congregate, use, in addition to the lower level of the auditorium. It's already air conditioned, there's plenty of room, there's bathrooms in there. So we want to try to, the fair has their meetings every day at noon in there for safety, and it's a shelter for all the livestock trailer participants, that have their campers there. But given a storm, we're all gonna go there anyway. So, that's a big help, not having to rent the trailer, not me having to
Hook it up.
hook it up to electric and all that kind of stuff too. So just things like that we've learned from last year that'll be better and will be around. So, a lot of things, a lot of work in progress.
Jeff, is this a final year or is there more to come?
Well, Sparky, this is the second year of the 2-year contract.
Yes,
Yes, so this is our last year.
maybe.
But I will tell you that just by word of mouth and what we did last year when we just wanted to make it right, everyone said this is the best they've seen. When are you going to do it again? This is just me thinking, in my opinion, they stopped doing the AA regional after COVID, and they haven't done it for the last 5 years. I just think that they're going to bring that back, and I think they should. They used to have it all the time, and you could move on.
Who's
So
they?
The AA, so the Legion, the national committee,
Okay.
they only did a senior Legion where they would go to your zone and World Series. So in years past, before COVID, the AA team, so your next division down, they did that. And we had my brother coached years ago, and my other brother went, but they played New Orleans, went to the World Series one year when they won a regional. So I guess in my opinion, I just think that committee's, after what we've done, hey, you guys did a good job, how about you host the next Junior Legion one or something like that. I could see it happening, but, and maybe we'll take a break for a couple years and know what it takes and go from there. There's no harm, we've done great. We haven't, our main goal was not to lose money, and we've done well with that. Sponsorships are very good, even sponsorships from out of town. I mentioned Joe earlier and Trent working hard on sponsorships. They've got a lot of out-of-town sponsors too that just think when it's veterans and when it's kids together in a baseball community, people don't have a problem saying yes. So, a lot of good things.
What was the final score last night?
3-2.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good game. And then the AA played after. Again, it's just a great atmosphere, and St. Charles was here to play the AA team after Union Washington. So,
Tell you what, there's a lot more people coming out there watching them games now than there was, say, 5 years ago.
I agree, Bob, no doubt. Like I said last night, just a normal 6 o'clock game, and the stands were full.
Yeah.
So it's great to see, and yeah, we'll work on, like I said, having alumni there and having guests, veteran guests, and celebrity guests. That's the plan. So looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good report, Jeff. I think I speak on behalf of our commission here that thank you for what you did to bring baseball to Washington and all the work you've done. So I think I, for one, appreciate it, so I guess the rest of everybody does.
Yes.
You're here.
Good job.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah. So maybe you can be included in the article that's done about it.
About
No, I don't
Morgan
need
Sheriff.
that, that's for sure, but, yeah, I was happy to do it.
Any other comments, questions, concerns?
No, but we should welcome our new councilman.
Well, he was here last time.
Oh, I wasn't.
You-
Oh, I missed that.
I think you should introduce yourself.
You didn't see it, we had fireworks outside.
Did you
Oh my
really?
God,
Oh,
yes.
Good
We
cake.
had a trailer out there, beer, right? You
It was a
remember?
great party.
Well, I can't miss those.
Dang, I missed that meeting too.
Okay, okay.
All right, how about adjournment? Anybody-
Do we,
Well, we have so on our July meeting, I will be out of town on the, what is it, the 9th?
So, oh, that's when it's scheduled, is the
It's,
night?
it's scheduled for July 9th, so I will not be here. I don't know if we can go to the 16th, if that works for everybody, because otherwise it's
The first-
July 2nd.
Second.
First
I will not be here on the 16th, but I guess one person.
How about the first Wednesday, what's that, the
That's the
second?
second.
Second.
That'll be on a holiday, we're a day before,
Awful close to the 4th of July.
awful close to the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't be here.
I won't be here.
16th, fine with me.
I can make it.
Probably
Does it have to be a Wednesday?
I can make it
Yeah,
on the
that would be another,
16th.
No, it don't have to be.
I mean,
I mean,
Well, you got a problem?
That's
with
what I'm
the
asking, what
oh
works.
no, I don't have a
Why are
problem,
you,
like,
why are you fighting it?
I'm not fighting. Somebody said they were out of town, somebody said they.
I'll
were
be in
out of-
Iceland.
How about, what do they call it, Zoom?
Okay. You want to, in an ice cave or on a glacier or what? I'm also zip lining. Do you want me to do it while I'm
yeah,
zip
yeah,
lining?
yeah.
The 16th's all right with me. I mean,
If I could get it connected,
We'll try the
I'll zoom
16th and see.
I'm pretty sure of that.
and you
Make
want to
sure
see if
everybody
the
goes.
Optimist works that day?
Yeah,
We want to potentially have the Optimist ribbon cutting
Yeah.
that day would be ideal.
yeah, we'll try to do that
Oh,
too.
that would-
So
That would work.
that's fine, we'll send out the meeting invite for that and get everything going.
So we tentatively the 16th?
16th, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, 16th.
Oh, okay.
Anything else? Adjournment? You want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by
I'll
James,
second.
second by Gavin, all in favor?
Aye.
See you on July 16th.
Thank you, everybody.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and- and she's going to